Hello and welcome to the 2022 PDFA Discflect World Championship, brought to you by Gatekeeper Media. We're in beautiful sunny downtown Buffalo, New York for the finals, a best of 7 between Young Guns and Stallion Survivors. My name is Joshua Greenauer, joined today by Connor Matteson. Connor, how we doing?
I'm doing great, Josh. I am just super stoked to be here to watch some top-tier, professional-grade Discflect here by these teams.
Yeah, really, these are probably the two marquee teams in the sport right now. Just peppered world championships, runners-up. If you want to win this tournament, you're beating one of these two.
Absolutely.
All right, boys, bring it in.
This is tournament director Dan Clavoon, two-time world champ himself, three-time world champ. Sorry, Dan, didn't mean to shortchange you.
Well, congratulations, make it on the finals. Well done, well done, well done. For those that don't know, we have the Stallion Survivors, who won 2 Discflect World Championships together, John and Eric. And then we got another 2-time Discflect World Championships won by these guys, AJ and Charles. So, this is how we're going to do this. Want to flip the dudes? Who wants to call it? Here, I'll flip it. Who wants to call it?
This is a traditional start to a game. Flip the disc, call heads or tails. Connor, you want to walk through the hammer rules here?
Yeah, it's at this point where the teams are kind of deciding which one wants to throw first at that point. One team's going to take the hammer, which teams typically prefer, and that's where you throw second in it. You kind of get the last stops at that point. You have the last one, you're the last team to make that last important bucket to win.
So here we have AJ Sobalski throwing to Charles Rizzo. As Dan just said, two-time world champions playing for their third. We got 2-0 here. As you can see by these feather flags, it is very windy. I'm not sure the flags do it justice. It was also a very swirly wind, so there was no real way to predict which way you're going. That kind of floated on Eric there.
It's all right.
I like John talking here. It's just, it's all right. It's fine.
Come on. Get it together. Good start.
What is it?
We'll get it. We'll get it.
I can't throw a frisbee. Come on.
Eric.
You can hear AJ there. Probably a little bit of nerves, a little bit of wind. Good throw there by Charles. Connor, you kind of want to explain there why 2 hands is okay?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you contact the disc one time, we kind of use the momentary contact as a good term to use there. It's more than okay. Go ahead, redeflect that disc right back in the top of the can for you there.
Okay, so we just had a 2 from John. The rule basically is if it hits the can on the way in, no matter what happens after that, it is 2. So had that bounced up in the air and Eric tipped it in, it would still only be 2. AJ's throw a little low here, and the wind is pushing it low. Nice throw by Charles.
And now we got John Sandino walking up here, throwing to his partner Eric Clavoon. Now this team, Stallion Survivors here. As John makes a low throw. Eric tries to save a 1. I'm not sure if he ends up getting it. It looks like he does. Yeah, Stallion Survivors, 2-time Discflect World Champions. They won back in 2014 and 2015. They're also going for their 3rd world title today. As John tries to save one, that's a little bit out from Eric there.
All right.
All right, come on, buddy.
We'll get it going. Yeah. We'll get it going.
Again, here's AJ throwing at Charles.
We just
And man, Josh, you can really see the wind just knocking that disc down out of his hand.
That end seems to be the drop end.
That definitely tends to happen. A lot of times you see the strategies for these teams. Some people tend to be better throwers. Some people tend to be better deflectors. Do you put your better thrower on the side with the wind and guarantee the good throw each time? Or that's adding to the... I'd probably say it's adding to the good strategy of being a good Discflect team here.
Yep. There we go.
Nice throw there by Eric. Looks like he's figuring out the wind a little bit. Like I said, this was a swirling wind. Some of this is probably nerves at this point for AJ.
Here, let's go.
Oh, no. All right. Alrighty,
And that's a pretty big miss at that point for the Young Guns. Now, if they would have got a 3 there, they would have been able to close out with the Stallion Survivors at that point being 1 turn behind. John takes his time, lines up a throw to his partner. Right over the can.
We heard John say there he didn't want to end this round with 3 points. Ending at 16, which is where they are now, so you know, be sure of 1.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right,
Means you have to hit the can, which in pristine conditions is difficult. In the wind, I say that as AJ throws it too. In the wind, it's much more difficult.
Yeah, go for it.
You just want 1 there. 3 is great, but the 1 is fine because then you can hit 21 pretty easily on the next turn.
Yeah, it looks like at that point, because Young Guns were already in range, and since the Stallion Survivors needed 4 points to close out, he was just going ahead, giving a shot at the win shot there. See if he can put it right in the slot. Don't even give Stallion Survivors the chance to make their 4. Perfect fill by John right over the can.
Take your time.
All they need is 1 at this point. Wrap up game 1.
There we go.
Hammer.
And they get it.
I just
Stallion Survivors
you know,
take
we do
the
that,
first
it's all
games.
funny.
They lead. And that's at this point where
Game 2.
Keep it
Good
rolling.
game, Charles.
at this point they decide that the Young Guns want to take the hammer. They're going to throw second. Usually tends to be the preferred type here.
You good, Evan?
And as the wind starts, as you can see in the back, those flags are really going.
Ready?
John taking full advantage of the 20 allotted seconds he gets to make this throw here.
Yeah, it's a smart play. And
That was a good throw. That was a good throw.
It's all good. I know the wind's tough to read.
Yeah, usually Eric Lavoon, 8-time world champion, has that tip, but you see, right as he goes to deflect it there, it just raises a little bit, and it can throw off your entire rhythm here.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, and John saving the top one that really floated up there. It looked like it was good out of the hand. It floated up, but John had his partners back there. As Charles comes back with the 1 as a throw from AJ. AJ's really got to get his throw up a little bit if this team has any chance of beating 2-time world champions, as they tie at 4-4.
that's a nice tip. You really don't want to go down 2 games none in the wind and let all that momentum build for Stallion Survivors.
Yeah, Josh, we're kind of seeing the 2 different strategies here that's close. From AJ and Young Guns. He's kind of getting up and firing as John kind of takes his time each time. All depends on how you want to play it.
I'm sure at this point Charles would like AJ to take his time and set himself.
Hip, hip.
Yeah, he's just getting up and firing. Oh, good try
Charles
by
with the
Charles.
flip attempt.
Take points. I'll get it up.
I like this communication here. It's important.
Yeah, Charles is
Another
right
good
over the
throw
can
by
at this
Charles.
point. Yeah, Discflect is such a game about rhythm and mental, and if you get out of your rhythm, it's tough to get back in it. All these teams can hit buckets, but you got to be in your rhythm.
Nice, Reedy.
That's a really nice throw that moves slightly at the end there. So nice, Eric. Nice staying with that one.
Perfect fill on the way back.
Nice 6-pack in the wind can be devastating, especially when you're struggling.
Nice throw, AJ.
Yeah, there we go. See if he gets it back on tack there. That was a perfect throw right over the can. Easy for his partner to jam in.
Flip that.
All right, E6, let's go.
All right, 6.
And that's a big one there. At that point, it puts Young Guns at 10. To close out, they need to hit one of the dreaded 2s in this sport if they want to close out in 2 turns.
And they need a 6-pack still in the wind.
Exactly.
At least one.
So that one there is not as huge as it might seem because they've got a steep hill to climb here in the wind.
Yeah, the Stallion Survivors in the driver's seat at this point here, only needing 4 to close out. Well, they got to get... Oh, my God.
No way! AJ Sobalski.
What a momentum-shifting throw. Wow, just when it looked like Stallion Survivors were about to take a commanding 2-0 lead, AJ buries it right in the slot.
All right,
Makes
get
up
the
for
next
my-
one.
Makes
All
up
right,
We
for
hear
my-
John there.
Let's go. All right.
Nice shot.
Dang, you can see the momentum shift in AJ.
No, right
Oh.
back to the ground. He's
Right
got
back.
to. He's got to get a hold of his emotions here.
He really has to take some more time to think about his arm, getting it through, as
Nice tip.
Charles delivers a great throw in the back.
All right, same as before.
Now the Stallion Survivors have a tough road ahead of them, having to get back from this huge momentum shift.
Stay the course.
I like Eric there, just like before.
Right on.
We were winning. Let's just keep winning.
Oh, a little low. All right.
All right, come on, Age.
Good attempt.
All right, 3-3.
Go back to normal. Just throw it.
No. AJ's still low. The wind is not doing him any favors, but he's got to aim higher. Maybe Charles is pretty tall. What do you think about that, Connor? How easy is it to change your target point mid-series?
It's not very easy, especially like you said with the swirling wind. It's not either facing you or going away from you, so you really got to base your throw every single time the angle of the disc when you're throwing it based on how the wind is at that exact time. Like you only get 20 seconds. As you see, AJ isn't even taking that. He's just getting up and firing it here.
There he goes. You hear Charles there. Off the ground, please. Half joking, half pleading.
More pleading.
Come on.
There's a
Go,
six-pack.
Lego. Come on.
All right, we got hammer. Come on. We're good. Slow.
That's two.
That hit.
So I think
right.
Eric did hit for one there at the end, but like I said earlier, the
At
two
least one. Yeah, we're at
immediately
three.
counts as two, and that's the end of it. That's an interesting rule for newbies.
Coming back.
Nice tip by John
Come
there.
on, buddy. Same
No
thing.
ones, no
Same
ones.
thing.
To that point, they're saying no ones. They don't want to get on that dreaded 16 at some point. So he's going to catch that instead of hitting a 1. Try to stay on those 3s.
Charles just throwing darts at this point.
We're all right.
He grips his disc like he's throwing a distance driver. For disc golf fans watching this, it's a full power grip. He really puts a lot of spin on it, which
Have to be sure on one there.
if you've played any disc golf in the wind, you'll know spin is your friend.
Absolutely. As you can just kind of hear the wind picking up as Eric Lavoon tries to get his team in range here.
So you can see there, the wind got under that flight plate, and that was the end of it.
Let's go.
And
All right, John. Grip locked it.
we've all been there. If you've ever played disc golf, you get up to the tee and just rip the shot to the left and grip lock it. Unfortunate time for that to happen. As Charles misses one, that's pretty much over the can there. Looks like it was the wind was wobbling it a little bit.
AJ threw that so fast, John was still walking off.
He
Good
was.
tip, buddy.
He's really
Hey, we're
fired
good
up
here,
right
we're
now.
good. We're fine.
I like all four of these players pretty much. Keeping the confidence
Stay
up.
on threes. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, John taking his time, waiting for the lull in the wind to try to rip it over there.
Now they're in the same boat that Young Guns was just in, where they do not want a one here.
All right, your call here.
So if this throw is iffy, John's going to catch it.
And that's why Eric just mentioned your call. It's either a 3 or nothing. That's what they want.
There we go.
2-1, Charles.
No decision there.
A two-pointer there by mistake is actually
Hang in there,
okay.
E. Let's go. Around.
So
Right back, right back.
this is a big one for the pro division.
Good job.
When you need 2
All right, three.
points in a round, you throw one and then
Come on,
one.
buddy.
You got it.
It
Right
gives
here.
you room for error. You don't have to try and hit the can.
It's at this point where they basically want a 3 or nothing. It's easier to get a 3 and have him catch it and then get a 3 back if he, instead of getting a 1 and then trying to shoot for that 2.
I had it throw. I was getting close to time.
Back in the infancy of this sport in 1999, a lot of players would just throw for 2. There's John with a long one, pretty impressive one, but they needed the 3 there.
All right, come
Young
on, buddy.
Guns
Keep
take
it
that
going.
game.
That wasn't ours. That Take wasn't it off. ours. Let's go.
Keep
We
it going.
gave it away.
Let's go.
2 to 1 now.
Now it's interesting as the losing team
Skip point,
decides
skip
what they
point.
want to do, and the winning team usually takes at that point they're going to take the first throws. But I'm interested to see if any team's gonna try to
All right, John. Here we
change
go.
the momentum
Restart,
instead of
restart,
giving the
right
winning
here.
team the first throws right away. John taking his time again here.
Way to read it.
Really contrasting styles between John and AJ here.
Huge.
Oh, that died.
Oh,
just
you see
dying
the
around
way
it.
that one
Losing
dipped.
with
That
that.
was
Fine.
going high. John was about to
4-2.
jump, and he had to bend down and just try to get any salvage of points there.
So this is what I was saying earlier. The wind at times got swirly. We had gusts almost 27 miles an hour today. And it is interesting
Good job.
to watch one player throw and it drops, and then it gets thrown the other direction, drops again. If you've thrown into a headwind, you know there's a massive difference
Gonna
between
get
that
it.
and a tailwind. So when it
You're gonna
swirled,
miss up. Whew.
it was anybody's guess.
And just as you heard John say, if you're going to miss up there, and that's super important. These guys, professionals, they always have a chance if the disc is above the can,
Come on.
or if the disc is above the goal at that point. They always have a chance. But if you miss under, much like that, he doesn't really have any choice but just to kind of hit it into the side of the goal and take their 1 point.
Nice throw.
Oh,
Eric,
yeah,
if you have to
man.
snap and fire it, just snap and fire it. Yeah.
That's John with some pretty good strategy there. If you hit a pocket of
I'm
lull,
sure things are flying all over.
if the wind isn't ripping
Alright,
in your
7-9.
face, at some point just let it rip. He's telling Eric, "I'll be ready. You go." The communication here is very important.
At least one back.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder how much nerves are affecting this at this point. I mean, these teams aren't any strangers to being in this situation at that point there, as John has that.
Let's go.
Yeah, this
John.
is
That was a big one.
this is Young Guns' fourth finals appearance. I guess technically they're the defending champions. 2019 was the last time there was a Worlds, and they won it.
Come on.
They also won in
Come on.
2017.
We're good here. We're good.
You see a pretty even game going on as they're matching buckets, matching dingers throughout the whole thing. And both of them had commanding wins, with
At least
Young
one
Guns
back.
beating Philorcus 4-0 in the semifinals, and Stallion Survivors beating No Big Deal 4-1. So I wonder if nerves are
9-6,
coming out
6
into
here.
it, but it looks like Stallion Survivors are shaking off those nerves. See if AJ can with this throw
Nice
here.
throw, buddy.
Looks like he
That's
does.
Clutch.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh,
Come on.
Ooh, that was
Let's go.
important.
that's a really good tip.
Great tip.
4.
John fires.
Oh, it's going in.
Now that's pretty important there. It was at that point Eric was trying to save his team from having
we
to
need to
to take 2 shots at the 2-pointer there. That could have went in the win slot, but Eric didn't want to take the shot at
OT.
just
Sorry,
hitting,
John,
not
I
going in
didn't
the
wanna
win
take the
slot,
chance.
and
I know,
kind
Eric, I know
of
why you did that, though. I don't blame you.
as you hear them talking
yeah,
right
yes.
there, they
Yeah,
didn't
I
want to
don't
take
know.
that
I don't-
chance.
yeah.
I think that's the right play there.
I agree.
Come on, baby.
When you're as good of a thrower as Eric is,
He's
getting
got
that
it.
3 back is
I know what he did.
So overtime starts everyone at 0. Each team will throw
Come on,
one
baby.
time. Whoever has the most
Nice
points
hit, baby.
wins. If it's a tie, it's another round of overtime.
perfect throw.
So this has to be a 3 or a win shot, or this game is over.
Come on.
Off his hand. Oh my God.
John Sandino.
What a great tip there. He couldn't
Here we go.
Come on.
get his left hand around it, resorting to just one hand, trying to hit that back corner of the can. And what a great
on me,
way
dude.
to salvage the points.
That's a great clutch tip.
Good throw on the way back.
Yeah, Charles is really throwing well here. I don't want to say the wind's not affecting him, but it seems he's getting his disc through the air better.
Yeah, he's got a lot of spin on his disc, and he's very great at controlling that spin to get it right over the can for his partner to tip.
Yes!
Oh, that's a
Yes!
huge.
What a redirect by Eric
Anywhere near
Lavoon.
this
Way
goal-
to do
anywhere near
that.
the can.
Wow.
Let's go. Anywhere near the goal.
That was almost below the lip.
As you hear his partner saying, anywhere near the goal, because all I need is 1 point, and that seals it.
And we're all tied up.
Yeah, we're just
All
gonna-
tied up.
Come on.
2-2.
Here we go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Young Guns again choosing to take the hammer to
That's
go
a third.
second, letting the Stallion Survivors continue with
on,
the
John.
big ol'
Right here.
momentum there.
That's a good mindset there. Best of 3 now.
Do it.
Do you think about that when you play, Connor?
Not as much. When I personally play, I know Game 5, if you're in this situation, tends to be the biggest momentum shift.
My bad. I should've had that.
And going first usually sets the tone. So if you can set the tone with a huge 6-pack here, that really puts it on. But if you're kind of at 2, I mean, they're getting 3, staying on the 3s there,
We'll
but
take it, we'll take
you
it.
really give the Young Guns momentum at that point.
You can see Eric and Charles there on that cut screen.
Catch it.
the-
Catch it.
Oh,
It's okay.
Okay.
interesting. You can really see them set
Right.
their legs and get ready because they're really not sure when the disc gets to them where exactly it'll be in the air.
Nice, Eric.
That's a really nice touch tip by Eric there.
All right. Good one. Good one. Good one.
Back-to-back one-handers there. AJ's just ready to go.
He's getting up there. John's still walking across, and AJ's ready to throw it.
I'm not sure there's any strategic
Come on,
value to that. Do you
Yeah.
ever get in that where you just want to fire away? Because I don't.
No, and I'm actually
good
one
job.
that I flip my disc a couple of times, kind of get into my motion. Like I was talking about rhythm before, you need to get in your rhythm. And if I'm not in my rhythm, I'm spraying, and it's just kind of I'm praying at that point, hoping that gets over the can.
At least, John. What's up? At least one here.
Okay.
I mean, maybe that's his routine, but it just seems really truncated. He's just ready to fire. And I'm not saying you got to be
Yo,
like
let's go,
Nomar
let's go.
Garcia
Here
Parra,
You
but
got
take a
we'll
little
get it,
time,
we'll get
talk
it,
to your
we'll get it.
partner.
Exactly. Let them get set and everything, especially with the wind here.
Nice
Wait
throw.
for your lull. But if you can cut through the wind like that, you might not need to.
That's good. That's good. Great throw. Yep.
That 2 puts them back on 3s.
nice.
You can really see on that angle the
At least one here.
disc dropping.
3 ideally, but nice throw.
Perfect throw by Eric.
If it
Let's go,
dropped
no one, Charles, no
predictably,
one. Big round
these
there,
games
big
would be a
round.
lot closer. The throws, I mean.
Great throw there. They're looking for a 3 or nothing here. They don't want to get on that 16 number. They don't want to have to work. They want to have to hit a 2.
That's okay. That's fine.
That's-
A
Great
2
job.
right there
That's
puts
fine.
them right on
2 is fine.
That's fine there.
All right, let's get it here, right here. 6. Same thing.
That actually gives them some leeway on the next throw where Charles can just pretty much go for the 3, and if he misses and only gets the 1, it's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. And especially with this high-level caliber of players, there's a good chance that Charles makes that tip even if AJ has an off throw. So it really gives you some good maneuverability and not having to
Alright,
catch
your
that
call
disc
here.
anymore.
I know Eric's
They need
upset that
4.
he
We
didn't
got
get
it,
that,
yeah.
but that was a really tough tip, and you don't want 1 there. Oh, I guess they're at 15 already. That's okay.
Looks like he's trying
Yeah.
for the
4,
win
4,
slot
come on.
there.
John definitely has to catch that.
He definitely does. Can't even. Perfect throw. Just the one here to close out Game 5.
Good boy. Let's go. Again.
Even that little breath by Charles. Reset, collect yourself,
Hey, one more, let's
even
go.
momentarily.
One more. Come on, buddy. All right, John.
That's
battle
all
back.
you
Sit.
need.
We got it. Come on. One
I
more
love
time.
this communication. That's
Come
what
on.
top tier
Best one
Discflect
yet.
teams do.
Best one yet. Let's
I
go.
got you.
Come on.
Perfect.
You can't tell your partner you got him and then not throw it, so
He came up on his
he
promise.
came through.
Nice touch, boy. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on.
There you go. You see them
starting
getting
to feel
fired
it.
up. They're feeling it. Now we'll see if Stallion Survivors, the seasoned veterans,
Oh, that got on Eric quick.
it did. See, he went for a flip up there, and the disc just rose up with that swirling wind we were talking about. Really hard to make that momentary decision to switch your hands, and that's what probably got him at that point.
Part of that, too, I think, is the tendency when it's a little windy is you want to beat the wind,
All right,
and
that's three.
sometimes
Come on,
you
buddy.
just
Nice
throw
throw.
harder.
Absolutely.
Nothing. No.
Yeah, at that point they want to stay on the threes if they can. They're feeling it. They're throwing well. Don't get any points there.
Ah!
Oh.
My bad, buddy. 3-7.
All right, see if Stallion Survivors can take advantage of this big old momentum swing. Perfect throw.
That's a really good
Throw,
tip. That was probably at the S on his hat.
Nice throw. There we are.
That could easily have dropped and hit him in the face. I've seen that happen.
You kind of see the experience playing a little bit more of a factor for the Stallion Survivors. They've been in this game a lot longer than the Young Guns have. As Charles just gets up there, aims it.
Two little throws for Charles in a row there.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got to get that up a little bit for his partner. John setting himself up.
Nothing.
And it's throughout the entire game that these teams are thinking about not getting on 10 to not get on 16 down the road. It's not just at that point. So these teams, ever since the first throw, they're worried about getting on that 4 to get to the 10 and 16 number. They're trying to stay away from that. It's on their mind the entire game at these pro levels.
That's good. Yeah, come on.
We have seen world championships before where it was so windy, all that strategy went out the window. You just took whatever you could get.
Some height right here. He'll come in.
Dropped a little bit on Eric there.
There was a year in the early 2000s where we had to create a rule on the spot because people would go to tip and the target would just blow away. It was just gone.
Yeah, it's not happening at this point here. But Eric.
No, there are still some pretty good throws happening here, so I think you want to stay on strategy.
You definitely do.
Flip.
Gets a 1 there. As he gets it up.
Nice
now,
throwback.
that's something I wanted to mention is you can see a pretty big height difference between John Sandino and AJ Cybulski there. That's right in AJ's breadbasket where he needs to be, whereas John would have probably had to jump a little bit and get a little bit on there. Having a tall partner, it's not necessary, but man, it does help.
Especially in the wind. There's less movement.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, he buries the 2.
Eric Lavoon.
That hit the ground. Good?
That was good.
Right.
That was good. I can't tell from here.
Yeah, that looked like a hit here.
The angle I was sitting, it looked like kind of like.
All right, 7. Hammer.
Game 7.
This is an important moment because this is a self-policed game.
Come on, let's go.
And so they quickly came to agreement that that was good, that hit
John,
for
same
2.
thing.
And that's what's so great about the sport here. The teams, just like what Josh was saying, they self-police at that point. Charles didn't think that, but everyone else was in agreement that it did indeed hit the can. So they move on into Game 7, starting with John Sandino.
I'm sure they've practiced for this moment too. All right, let's throw 1 6-pack here. We're playing Young Guns in the finals. It's Game 7. We got to have it. So here's where all that prep work pays off.
Nice hit.
Oh, what a tip.
Beautiful.
Way to slide it in at that point. That's really the only way you can get the
play.
disc in the can at that point there.
Come on.
Perfect
Bullets
throw.
there.
Keep going.
You can just feel the tension here with these guys. You can see Charles in the background pacing around. The nerves have to be at a maximum at this point here. Perfect.
Nice throw by John.
There we go. Way to stay on it with the Eric there.
If your partner is right-handed, that's where you want your miss.
Exactly.
Got it.
There you go, John. See, at that point, he had to back up a little bit, whereas AJ would have been right there with that height. But John's been able to work with it, being one of the best tippers around.
Come on, baby.
Right over the can.
Well, AJ's really found his throw here at the perfect moment.
And that's exactly what you need to do.
John,
They're
keep
perfect through 4 throws on 12 points, looking to close this game out. Well, Stallions, if everything goes to plan, they're going to need to hit a 2 to keep this game going into overtime. It's a little low.
We're fine. Just give me. We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine.
We're fine.
Dang, I did it again.
Grip
Nice
lock
try by
again.
John there.
Great effort by John to try to salvage
All right,
any
take it
points
off.
at that
Next one,
point
next
here.
one. Thank you.
No ones.
Yeah, they're saying no ones again. They want to stay on the threes. That's important in this game. That's at that point where you don't know if you want to catch it or not, and he decided to tip it.
Hit the
Hit
three,
the
hit the
can.
three.
That's such a tough decision there.
Yeah, you can't halfway that one. You either have to hit it or catch it.
Exactly. Gives his
All right,
partner
still
a
got a
great
chance.
throw
We
on the
need
ray
at least four
return,
here.
though.
Dude, it was right there, and then it.
At least 4.
Just no way.
Oh, way to go, Eric. What a great
At
tip
least
to keep
one.
him in the momentum there. All you need is one to get within range here. Three's
There we
better.
go.
All right, Abe.
5.
Come on.
Eric and John have
One more.
surprising power in their tips. Nice tip by AJ.
All right.
Win the
A
game.
2 here wins the PDFA World Championships for the
You're in
Young
the can,
Guns. If he
baby.
can bury that can
Bust over
there.
here.
See Charles taking his time setting up. It's only him in the can. Throws there. A little bit
Come on,
off.
John, right here.
This is why
4.
getting stuck at
Let's go.
16 is such
Give
a
me something to work with
bad
right
thing
here.
because now Young Guns have to take a turn for 1 point.
Exactly. This gives an opening for Stallion Survivors to get that 4 points. Throw looks on. Looks like right before he went to tip it, the disc just fluttered a little bit. Threw off his
go for it.
timing, and he wasn't even able to get it. At this point, he probably needs to shoot for a win slot. That's how
All
I'd
good.
play it.
Don't worry about it.
Has to be a win
Hit it
slot.
right
Young
here.
Guns need only one.
Taking his time here, seeing if he can bury it for the World Championship.
Had that win shot been good, Young Guns would have got a redemption shot to try to hit their own, which would have forced immediate overtime.
A 1 to win it, and they
There it
get
is.
it.
Come on, baby.
The Young Guns, your 2022 PDFA Discflect World Champions.
Congrats.
Great moment in the sport. Shake hands.
All right, that was me.
Congratulate each other.
You see Eric there mentioning to John, apologizing, but he has nothing to apologize about. He's been one of the best players in the sport every single year throughout the past 15 years of the sport.
Yeah, you know he's got to be gutted there.
All right, well, that makes the Young Guns now the 4th team to win 3 World Championships. Thank you guys so much for joining us in the 2022 PDFA World Championship broadcast presented by Gatekeeper Media. Visit pdfa.com for more information about the sport.